So you think you're an indigo, or you don't know if you're an indigo. How did I know when I was an indigo? I kind of felt it. It just because a part of being an indigo is being feely. And feely in the intuitive sense. Just a knowing. You could call that claircognizant, I think. I just felt it. I knew it. The indigo, where did it come from? Where do the indigos come from? Where do you think we're from? Where do you think we're from? I know what I am. I know which cosmic galactic components I embody. But I'm not going to tell you. Because I think it's different for everyone, but I think we all kind of mix with the same families. And the ones that get along. Most of them get along. Anyway, the term indigo children was coined a long time ago by a woman named Nancy Ann Tappy. She was a parapsychologist, a therapist. She was kind of like a self-proclaimed psychic. And she noticed that babies were being born with an indigo aura. And prior to the indigo aura, the aura was a variety pack of colors. But when the indigo babies came out, like myself and my brother, and I know a couple other people who are true blue indigos, like you might have some of the commonalities that an indigo has, but the cat wants the window. But if you don't feel it, I mean, there's a way, there's a feeling, there's a vibration, there's a frequency to it. And you know if you know. If you're doubting it, you're probably not, here she comes. You're probably not it. All right, that's up, Lily. Okay, anyway, so she wrote a book. Nancy Ann Tappy wrote a book. And then in 1999, Lee Carroll, otherwise known as Cryon, the Magnetic Master. If you know Cryon, you know Lee Carroll. He and Jan Tober wrote the Indigo Children book. It further developed the idea. I remember hearing about it in the 80s when I was like 10 years old, like 15 years old. And I remember my mom called us a couple of weirdos, but I don't think she meant it like that. I think she was just kidding around, and she probably would not know. Because, you know, back in the 80s, things were a lot different. She probably didn't, she was an indigo, so she probably didn't want anyone to know. You don't get to know. I didn't know. I didn't know till I was real rock solid when I found some resources when I was in my 30s. But I felt it before that. All right. Anyway, so Doreen Virtue wrote a book in 2001. She described indigo children as being bright, intuitive, strong-willed individuals, and said these kids were most often misdiagnosed with ADD or ADHD. We're here to help society evolve using alternate approaches. Here to make it better. Right, so Doreen Virtue furthered it along in 2001, which I never heard. I didn't even know she did that. That was back when she was a spiritualist and not a Christian. Anyway, so it was kind of new agey back in the 60s and 70s. Some of the traits, you could go online and just Google indigo test. How do I know I'm an indigo? Characteristics of an indigo. What? And by the way, it's not fun. And by the way, it's not a fad. And by the way, it's not like Joe Cool, like it's what everyone wants to be doing, or you're special. Life can be very difficult as an indigo because you see things differently. Your perception of reality is different. You're looking at things like, yeah, I don't want to participate in that because it's a bunch of manipulation. Yeah, those guys are not being honest. I don't want to work with them. Yeah. And very intuitive, very feely, very psychic, third eye oriented, indigo. I don't know. It's just not easy. So if you think that you want to be like, I want to be special, I want to be an indigo, you don't. No. Even though we're really coming up on the time that we're really going to start making a difference, that things are going to start coming together, and we just need to continue to trust our intuition and just let our higher selves guide us and quit trying to control everything, because we've never done this before. And so we don't know what we're doing. And so we don't know what we're doing. And we're like, well, I got to control everything. No. Nope. There's a bigger picture going on. And that's something else the indigos, they see the bigger picture. We have a strong sense of purpose. We can be rebellious. We question authority. Yep. Highly intelligent and creative. A deep empathy and a sensitivity. You can say we are empaths, but I'm not trying to like walk around with a portfolio of names and labels for myself. I would call myself a human female at the base level. A hybrid female at the base level. All right. We feel different and out of place. Feel like an outsider much? Feel like you don't fit in? Feel like no matter what you do, you don't belong? Very spiritual and intuitive. Feeling the interconnectedness. All is one. We have an intolerance for injustice and dishonesty. Oh yeah. Do not ever lie to me, because I will find out. And I won't even have to try. It'll just fall right into my lap. I'll just go, oh, what is this? You can lie to my face all you want, and I'll go, oh, yeah, all right, cool. And I'll agree with you. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. You think you're being funny. No, you're not. All right. Injustice. Like, we're in flip world. It's so upside down. It's so upside down right now. We're not interested in corruption. We're not interested in. We are really interested in like what's coming up. Like we're gonna help everybody walk over that bridge from like, well, now we're going from that way of life to this way of life, and this way of life is going to be a lot better, and I can see it, because that's my job as an indigo. That's what I can do as an indigo. Right. We have a desire for independence and freedom. Do not strap me down. We've known our own mind from a young age. We are independent and headstrong, sometimes to our detriment. We are very sensitive, especially with animals. Animals love us. We can be high-strung. We can have a lot of energy. Sometimes we do self-esteem teeter-totter. Feeling good, feeling crappy, feeling good, feeling crappy. What else? We're spiritual warriors. We would have been better off homeschooled. We were bored in school. I was really bored in school. I was the daydream kid. Oh yeah, I'd be looking out the window, just la la la. Fuck that shit. So I did not do well in school, but I'm highly intelligent. Yes, and I've even had my IQ tested, and most indigos are high IQ, genius, superior intellect types. And we don't necessarily think inside the box. We kind of see the big, broad expansiveness with the sixth chakra, the third eye, the disconnectedness that we can do. Sometimes we can be impatient. Sometimes our response is anger, because we're sick of this shit. And what's leaving or what's left, that old school way of doing things, that bullshit, is itchy. It's itchy. It just We need to move on. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. There are indigos older than me that have been doing this for a long time. Yeah, we've been holding down the fort for a long time. All right. We seek out authentic, genuine, deep, and long-lasting relationships, no matter what kind it is. Intimate, friendship, whatever. We like to have, I have a lot of long-term friends. If I did like the trust meter on each friend, they would all have high levels, like I can trust them. There might be one that I'm like, well, I can't trust her when she's around that other person because that other person I don't trust, kind of thing. But I trust all my friends. All right. May feel abandoned, or lost or alone because it's different. I live in a large metro area, and believe it or not, I don't run into very many indigos, even though you would think I would, living in high population. Sometimes we've had many jobs due to difficulties with outdated systems like favoritism. That group gets to get away with it, but that group doesn't. Why am I working twice as hard? Shit like that. So, the first wave, now I don't necessarily believe this is true. I personally don't think it matters. The first wave was in the 40s to 70s. The 40s to 70s, that was a trickle. Like before 65, it was a trickle. And then more started coming in around 65. That's my experience, just my research. And then the second wave came in the 80s and 90s, and then the third wave is the turn of the century up to the present moment. Everybody has a different purpose. First wave is system busters, second wave is healers, third wave is innovators. But now I'm a healer, so see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really don't think it matters. And I've even heard that some people say it started in 1970, which I don't agree with that. I know people, my mom was an indigo. So, do you think you're an indigo? I just gave a quick list. That's where it comes from. Indigos are here to help bring in the new thriving environment that we are shifting into, the new society that we're moving into, which is actively happening. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the news. I'm more likely to watch astrology, solar weather, and stuff like that. But I do still eyes on I just saw the president drop F-bombs on TV. Iran tried to scare us, and we fuck around and found out they fuck around and whatever. It's not happening quite yet, but we're almost there. We're almost there, especially considering we've been waiting for so long. Anyway, if you're an indigo, come on back. Even if you're not, come on back. We could have some great conversations, but welcome to the channel. Welcome to the intro. See you next time. My remote control isn't working.